apologize taking a little bit long. I had a little celebration to do with our guys. To be out of the building for 10 days and to get back here on Thursday, and I watched that practice Thursday, and I was just so excited to get back out there. We probably could have had bad practice, and I still would have said it was good. But I just felt when I came on that practice field that they really snapped in offense, defense, special teams. It was a really clean practice. I've been able to watch it all the time through Zoom and through technology, but to see it and feel it and hear it, I was worried. This week they're away from classes, right? There's a million different things going on. A lot of guys went home for maybe a Thanksgiving dinner. We had a celebration dinner here that had a large majority of our team, but the focus that they had and the ability to open the game up the way they did, I kept stressing to them all week, listen, that senior day is a great thing, but you got to turn the page as soon as that celebration is over and get our minds right. And the way we started offense, defense, and special teams, I thought we'd play well today, and it was fun to see it go out and get executed that way. I give a lot of credit to Fitz and his crew. These guys were Big Ten West champions a year ago, right? And we talked about this game from the moment I was hired, and the conversations we had during the course of the year to play a trophy game and to keep it, make it be housed in our building. We built a locker room area for our players to house those trophy games, and to get one now that'll be in our building for the whole year is awesome until we try to defend it again next year. So, the seniors, can't say enough about their perseverance, their faith in us as coaches to jump in and come back and do it. And then especially when things maybe weren't going as well as everybody had hoped at certain times, they kept the faith. They've been tremendous. I've always let senior captains talk at the end of the year. So we had 3 guys talk last weekend. Before the Iowa game, had 3 guys again talk last night, Velo, Kramer, and Jake Hansen. And just to hear their words and what they say about us as coaches and their teammates makes me more confirmed now than ever before that we're definitely headed in the right direction. I'd love to get the chance to play one more game with these guys. If that works out, it'd be great. But just to see the way they're playing and the way they feel it, I think there's a definite vibe to playing their best football at the end here, and we'll see how that all plays out. But I couldn't be happier for our guys to play well at the end of to start the year with a win against Nebraska and to end the year with a win against Northwestern. Would have loved to have a couple more in between there, but to kind of feel where we're at in the Big Ten West, and I think a vision of what we can be is a very exciting time.
Bret.
So with that opened up.
Bret, good to see you in person, by the way. What do you think you've set here this year? I mean, obviously getting some wins that you haven't had, they haven't had here in a while. Obviously some games you probably regret because you could have had even more special season, but what foundation do you think you set here?
I do think 2 things, right? Like from the day I got here to where we are, I've felt we've kind of been on a steady path to get to this point, right? I get frustrated when we don't have success and get angry but when I walk through that door every day as the head coach, I realize that anything I say, do, or even kind of feel resonates everywhere in this building. And I've been trying to be as upbeat and positive as I can. I've given them a pat on the back when they deserve it. I've also tried to kick them in the tail when they need it. I said after the Iowa game, I was pretty strong with them on that Sunday night that, listen, we're not into participation ribbons, right? Like, we can't just say that we played hard and we gave it a great effort. Like, we didn't win that game, in a game that I think was winnable. And we have to be able to, get through those moments for us to grow in the future. But on the same account, these guys, when they're playing with confidence and they feel it, they understand it, they're very, very productive defensively. It's fun to see OC and Isaiah play well, but those 2 guys are really the only guys we lose. Rod Berry obviously came back in the mix today, but we have the majority of our guys coming back defensively. Offensively, to have 2 running backs. I know Chase got over 1,000. Josh McCray looked like the Josh McCray we've seen. DJ and Luke, and some guys have some decisions to make, but I think the feeling that they have coming off that field, they know where we're headed and hopefully can go in the right direction. We lose a lot of good offensive linemen, Palcho, V, and Doug, Jarasati, are guys that will be moving on, but and then Jack Benovdiak, right? What he was been able to do for us this year is just another great story to this year. So we got some work to do. I got a lot of work in recruiting the next 2 weeks, but it's been fun to build this thing, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
Coach, that was probably the most balanced that we've seen from the offense this season. Is that kind of the blueprint of what you want to be offensively?
I do think balance is good, right? Like, I say this all the time, right? You learn from your players, and I'll never forget. I was with Russell Wilson, and it was like after our fourth or fifth game, and he talked about when we were able to run the ball so effectively, how much easier that made his ability to throw the ball. And I do think there's a core principle in that, the way we want to play. I do think we were able to distribute the ball around, especially in that first half offensively, some deep shot plays and completed them, right? It's one thing to take them, but it's another thing to complete them. And I believe all of those guys that caught long balls are all back, right? I thought the DJ Barker run, to have a tight end that can do those type of things is a very special part of your offense. I think our guys knew the plan, they executed it, and to complement it in the special teams, I think we had 3 field goals in the first half. To go out there and execute the way they did, it's a good sign. I like, when we play other teams, I hear coaches speak about what we do and what we see and what they believe we are off the film, and I know we're headed in the right direction. I can feel it. I know other people see it, and it's hopefully going to be a sign of good things to come.
Bret, you mentioned that maybe November was your best month, and you're playing your best football right now. Do you feel like, and have you seen it before, that this will bleed into winter conditioning and what you want to build from here on?
I think when we beat Penn State at Penn State and took the step there, and then we had the setback the next week against Rutgers. But I think this crew knew what they're capable of doing, and to go beat Minnesota at Minnesota, a Big Ten West opponent. That I don't even know how that game played out today. I know they played Wisco, but I just keep preaching to our guys, and this is really something I picked up in the NFL, right? You have divisional play in the NFL, and when I was last in this league, the league was different, right? It was the leaders and legends, and then one of the things that really excited me from the phone call I got from Josh the very first day to where we are now is just the Big Ten West. I think is a division that we feel we can be very, very competitive in a short amount of time, and for us to do that, we got to be more consistent week in and week out. We got to learn to play certain opponents a little bit better, but I definitely feel we're in a good spot.
Coach, you spoke early in the week about how when you were hired in your first week, you spoke about the importance of Northwestern. What's it mean to actually get that win and be able to have that trophy in the locker room?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's about respect, right? These guys have won 6 in a row. They were the Big Ten West champions last year. They're 1 year removed from being at the top of this division, and I think for us to play the way we did today, it means a lot for us, and not only just today, but also in recruiting. It's a statement for us and where we want to be in this division. I said it the other day. I doubt there'd be anybody who really would want to play us right now, and I'm not saying that. That's easy for me to say. I believe that, like I feel it, and I think our kids understand it. And now next year, when I can talk to these guys about the out-of-season program, why we want them to get to a certain level of weight, or down to weight, right? Like, I'm not just talking about the week they're in. I'm talking about week 10 of a Big Ten season, right? That's what I'm talking about, and now they understand it a little better.
Do you operate the next week like you could have another game or not?
By NCAA rule, because we haven't been told we can't, we actually get to practice this week.
Okay.
So the kids don't even know that yet, but we'll take advantage of every practice. I mean, I'd love to play a bowl game for a variety of different reasons. My wife wants to go to a bowl. I'd want to go to a bowl, right? But the chance to get to practice would be awesome, right? Just every practice we have with these guys. Like I'm telling you, like the 2 Wednesday practices, the bye weeks were like 2 of my favorite practices since I've been here. And it sounds silly to say that, but it's because I can see what's building. And to get a chance to do that this week, and I know I haven't really been paying attention. It was just noise to me this week because it really didn't matter unless we won this game. So I'll probably lock into that a little bit more. But I'm on a plane tomorrow at 1 to go recruiting, and I don't come back till next Friday, so it'll be kind of by remote.
But was there a moment, there's a lot going on after the game, was there a moment that you took a snapshot of in particular out there, just of your guys celebrating?
Yeah, I really, just because I know what Jake Hansen went through. So when he said he's the one that suggested maybe being on a victory formation, so I said I'll do one better because I know Epstein, did a lot. So those 2 guys, like all those seniors mean something. But when a kid's year is ended by injury, that it's the one thing in my heart as a head coach I can't ever shake it. I had a kid, Luke Swan, get injured in the Illinois game, one of my first years as a head coach, and that still sits in my mind. So like those 2 to be in the formation, the victory was pretty awesome. That's the moment that I'll probably go back to a long time. But Keith Randolph came up and grabbed me after the game. TA jumped in my arms. saw the guys with a hat, like I made a big deal about the trophy. So to see them run over there and get that, was pretty cool. A lot of great moments to grab Jen and be with her on the field after the game. She always likes it when we win by more than a couple scores. She claims it's good for her heart. So I literally thought midway of the fourth quarter, she's got to be happy with this. A lot of different things. I think the parts for me as a head coach that stand out is to see the smiles, right? Like and then Palcho's dad to grab me, to have so many guys say things that are common, like it's not just like one person saying it, like everybody says some things that I know what we're saying and doing is right, and it's good to see it be rewarded.
What does this one mean for Chase Brown and for you as a coach to coach a 1,000-yard runner
Yeah.
to do it in your first season?
Yeah, I didn't want to, put too much emphasis in it. I didn't say much to Chase, but the best thing that happened today was Ryan Walters grabbed me last night, and he said, hey, Chase and Sydney's mom is driving in from Canada. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. And obviously you guys saw the one with Blake. These kids that have been from different countries, they haven't seen their parents for a long time. So I immediately called Pat Pearson and said, hey, Chase and Sydney don't know this, but their mom's coming to see him. Could we, I'll manipulate it, I'll tell them a story. And so we got a camera to follow them. So I called Chase and Sydney, we're at the hotel. We got back to the hotel right when we got back from the country club. And I have those two on a group chat, and I FaceTime them both. And they both looking at me, I don't know if they thought they were in trouble or what. The coaches FaceTime them 20 minutes before the meeting. I said, hey, you two knuckleheads, I think we got some NIL news maybe that could because they haven't been able to do NIL because they're foreign students. I said, but tomorrow when you get off the bus, we want to show you interacting with some Illinois fans. So there's going to be a camera on you guys. So you guys walk in together and just interact with the fans, and we'll put together a little video. They didn't know their mother was going to be waiting by the block of ice. So to see them come down the stairs today before the game, by the look in their eye, I thought they both would probably play pretty well today because that mother's love means everything to them. So that's what I remember about Chase today.
Coach, you got a full off season this year.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the importance of continuing to build the brand, so when you get to this point next November, you're playing in front of sold out stadiums? I
would love to. It's just, in life you go through things and you don't realize what you have in front of you until you don't have it, right? So I played at the University of Iowa, right? And I saw that stadium last week when I was sitting in the COVID protocol, right? And I saw what that fan base was like. And then, I coached in this league at another school that had a sold out place every game. And I know it's Josh and I's goal, right, to fill that baby up, to get to stadium so that people come here every Saturday and that we can represent them, right? I knew it was important for us at the end of the year to go on a high note, to show people what we can possibly do in the future. And hopefully that's a great indication of it. As far as having a whole season, we've put a huge emphasis in recruiting. We're going to probably have 8 to 10 of our high school guys signed with us, will be with us in January, and a lot of those guys are coming from winning programs. I know today we had a couple more get added that were state champions in their own right. So that's what I'm excited about, like the guys that we have coming back in this building, but also the guys that we're going to add to it.
How did you build this trust with these guys so fast? I mean, it was really kind of a speed dating type of thing for 11 months. What was the key to developing these guys?
I think honestly, kids, like I say it all the time, people think kids are different today than they were 20, 30 years ago. Kids want to run to people that they can trust and they feel are going to be honest with them. Like I'm going to tell you now, like every conversation I've had with guys hasn't been a bed of roses, right? Like I'm not a negative person, but I'm going to let them know when I don't think it's right or I'm honest with them. Doug Kramer gave a speech last night that I like. It just like punched me in the head, because he was speaking from the heart, and he made an opening comment about what he's felt since he first came across his staff and working with Coach Miller, and that part I know you can't fake it, right? And you can't. You can fool someone for a day or two or maybe a month or two, but you'll eventually expose yourself, and that's what I've kind of been telling our guys is. Just be the best you, all right? And I can live with everything, but I think it's critical to be real, right? To be human. They see me. You guys have seen me. I get emotional. I never run away from that. Like I tell people all the time, like it takes a lot for a man to say to another man, "I love you," right? But today on that senior goodbye, I got a lot of I love you, you know what I mean? And it wasn't fake, and the feeling was mutual.
Last question.
Coach, kind of a question about the game. You capitalized off the 2 turnovers that Northwestern had with touchdowns. How important was that in building the momentum to getting a big lead?
Again, it's teaching these guys how we got to play the game. So last night, I let the seniors talk first. Those 3 guys talk, and then I always give a little film session on Friday night, and they never know what's coming at them. I might take a series. I might take a series from us. I might take 6 plays from practice. I never let it be the same. And so last night, I just basically showed them the score at the beginning of the second quarter and the score of the at the last play of the game in 4 divisional Big Ten games for Northwestern. And I wanted them to see, like, the score was this at the end of the first quarter. This was the score at the end of the game, and there was a method there. There was a message. If we start fast, like, this is a team that really struggles to come back from that. And I think when they looked up at the end of the first quarter and saw that score, it's like, hey, I've been here, I've done this, and I've really stressed that to them. So to teach them how to win the game, and my coaches too, right? Like, some of my coaches have been with me before, but I'm a different person than I was in the past, and I want them to know this is how you win the game, right? This is how you play the game in order to win it, and when you follow the script, a lot of really good things can happen, and that happened today.